Hello everybody! Are you ready to transform yourself into data analysis superhero with AI tools? Recently I tested some of them to see how far we can go with data analysis. So today I'm sharing 5 tips to supercharge your data analysis skills. And to make things more interesting, we'll plan a budget-friendly trip to the place where the sun shines all the day and the cost stays low. So are you ready? Let's go! Tip 1. Data preparation and cleaning. Data preparation is always a hassle, right? Well, now it can be a little bit more easier. Let's hop over the Google Flights to pick up our potential trips from, let's say, Paris for the weekend between 19 and 22. We get all different options with prices and destination. We'll copy all the options in the most messy way and we'll ask ChatGPT version 4 to make a table with 2 columns, city name, flight price per person. And then just like that, we transform those messy data in a neat table with names and prices. Next, let's tackle the living cost. Since we want to keep our expenses low, we extract the cost of living index from one of the many websites that are publicly available. In the same way as for Google Flights, we select all and we copy in the most messy way to the ChatGPT and we write, make a table with columns, city name, cost of living index, list all cities in the table. And we wait and then we obtain the table with all the cities and the living cost index, which will help us to compare cities beyond the flight tickets costs. Data consolidation. Alright, let's merge the data. The real world information is rarely uniform, and I'm sure that the cities between the databases are not written the same way. So let's see how ChatGPT handles this in the consolidation. We open a new window and we write combine 2 tables on city name, leave only cities available in both tables. Then we'll go to the previous windows where we created both tables and we copy and paste them next to the prompt that we have just written. And when we check the results, we can see that he manages large parts of cities. He didn't get confused that there is a country name in one of the table. However, he struggles to join the city with accents. But overall, bravo for the first try, and we have most of the cities joined. Tip 3. Data discovery. Alright, it's time to go deeper to understand our data. Let's discover some basic statistics and write, give me some basic statistics for the new table, number of lines, columns, min-max, average on metrics. So it's interesting that we can easily ask to discover the data and notice in this example that the cost of living index is not really self-explanatory. It goes from 40 to 80, but maybe there is some more interesting way to compare living costs. Tip 4. Feature engineering. Alright, here's where it gets crazy. Let's transform the data into more explanatory metrics. We will recalibrate our cost living index to real-world expenses, starting with a baseline. Let's say that we have 3 days trip to Warsaw, which costs 600 euros usually. Let's apply this to our data, adjusting each city living cost. Plus, we'll calculate the flight price for 2 people. So our final prompt is, make a table with 2 new columns. First column is flight price for 2, calculated by multiplying the flight ticket by 2. Add second new column, trip budget without flight, which is calculated by taking 600 euros as a reference point for the trip in Warsaw, and using cost of living index to estimate cost for other cities. Okay, let's check the results. So if we take Warsaw, he doubled the price of flying ticket, like we asked him, and the trip budget, it's 600 euros. Okay. Now, if we compare with Vienna, the trip budget is higher according to the living costs index, and inversely is lower in Porto. Okay, cool. It seems like he got it right. Tip 5. Data visualization. Let's make it even more crazier and ask for a graph. Let's map our findings and make a matrix with y-axis for flight price and x-axis for trip budget without flight. This graph will unveil the most wallet-friendly destination in bottom left corner with some Polish, Portugal and Spanish cities. On the top left corner we see Great Britain as it's closer to Paris and flight prices are lower. But given the cost of living, which is very high, especially in London, I'm afraid that it will eat up the difference between airline tickets. And since we are going with somebody who likes sunny destination, we'll incorporate this data from Wikipedia. So we select all, copy, paste, and write, add the hours of sunshine in April to the graph, create circles for each city. The color of circles indicates the number of hours of sunshine, yellow high, blue low, place the legend. By incorporating this data, we can easily spot Lisbon and Seville, which are sunny destinations. And in general, we see that this graph starts to be highly interpretable. We see less sunny and expensive cities in UK. We see less expensive and sunny countries in Spain and Portugal. And we see the cheapest options, such as, for instance, Warsaw. Bonus tips, data interpretation and dashboarding. Okay, I'll give you last 2 bonus tips. First, we will see how ChatGPT can help us in data interpretation. So we ask him, based on this graph, make 3 recommendations for low, high scenarios and third scenarios based on different activities in the cities. In low scenario, he recommends Porto and Valencia, which seems interesting. In a high budget, Sevilla, okay. But the first scenario was interesting because besides Athens and Amsterdam, he recommended Split in Croatia, which I wouldn't spontaneously think. And he recommends the coast and nearby islands to visit, so it's interesting. And for the dashboarding, let's show our travel options on the map. It happens that I have Excel file with city coordinates that I can upload to ChatGPT and ask, join the file with the coordinates with the initial table and plot the cities on the map. And this way I can present to my companion all the options. We can zoom, we can scroll the cities, and also we can see the data about cities in the information bubble. So it's very convenient to discuss the travel options. All right, wow. What we have learned from all this? If you're a beginner data analyst, you can definitely straight away use those tools and come up sometimes with fascinating insights. For large analysis, we see the potential, especially in some parts, data discovery, data visualization. When you have your aggregated data set, you can quickly have some statistics and visualization. But it's hard to imagine that this approach will quickly replace the regular process. I struggle a lot with the volume, with the scalability, with the quality during this demo. But yeah, we see the potential, and it's like with all the technologies. The pioneers will define the future, and eventually the technology will become more robust and performant and mainstream. So I wish you a lot of energy. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Strike a like if you enjoyed the content. And yeah, cheers.